Wemby, forget about it. Jokic, who? These 14 players are ready to break out, and you need them on your team if you want to hoist that championship gold. Keep watching.
Step on the court where the legends are made. Fantasy dreams where the stats get paid. Barack Lesnar's throne, the hoops parade. Unicorn hunting, every move well played.
These are the players that I think have massive potential to outdo their at-draft position and might become all-stars, maybe even all-NBA caliber players. These are players I think are going to have an amazing season and really help you win your fantasy basketball leagues. These are all guys you should be able to draft after pick 50. And I think a lot of them actually have top 50 potential. And when you can load up on those players with that huge upside and you can get them for cheap, that is when you can build very destructive teams. And that's what Barack Lesnar Hoops is all about. Before we get too much further, do me a favor and smash that like button for me. Subscribe if you have not yet, and click bell notification so you can be alerted when these videos drop. Read the comments on some of these videos. The information I give you, I think, can make you a diamond tier player as soon as this season, just by applying the formula that I share with you. Let's get started. The first player on my list is Payton Pritchard, point guard, shooting guard for the Boston Celtics. Has a diamond tier at draft position right now of 68.8. Last 7 days, that has crept up to 63.3. Was the sixth man of the year last year, played 80 games, almost 29 minutes, is 100% drafted in leagues so far. Why I think he'll break out? The Jason Tatum injury really creates that opportunity for him. He has elite efficiency considering he's getting 3+ threes per game on 47 shooting. When you can have a lot of threes and still have a high field goal percentage, that makes your team really hard to beat. He has mini Steph Curry upside because very similar to Steph Curry, he can get you a lot of threes while not hurting your field goal percentage and also keeping your turnovers low. Assist to turnover ratio is nice. The 0.9 steals per game, I would love to see it higher than that, but we might actually see it higher than that. We might see him giving you 18 to 20 points per game instead of 14.3. The assist could creep up closer to 5 to 6 per game. And if he can keep the turnovers low and maintain this elite efficiency and maintain the 3+ threes per game, this guy's going to be on a lot of championship teams. Andrew Nembhard, due to the injury to Tyrese Halliburton, also tore his Achilles, very similar to Jason Tatum during the playoffs. Andrew Nembhard, much like Payton Pritchard, has an opportunity to step up and soak up all that usage, maybe even more so because he plays the same role as Tyrese Halliburton. So we might see him unleashed this season. Diamond tier ADP of 77.9. Over the last 7 days, that is 76.7. Last season played 29 minutes per game, is 100% drafted. Elite assist to turnover ratio got you 5 assists to about 1 turnover per game. And he made it to the NBA Finals. I find that is going to accelerate his development because that's historically what I've seen happen when you have young players go on a championship run. They just come with a little more swagger. They come with a little more confidence. And that normally translates to more steady production, more consistency. And I think we will see that with Andrew Nembhard this season. Last season got you 10 points per game, 3.3 rebounds per game, 5 assists per game, 1.2 steals per game, only 0.2 blocks per game. But I'm not drafting point guards typically to get me blocks, so that's fine. 1.7 turnovers again to only 5 assists. Very valuable. 0.8 3-pointers made. Probably going to see that creep up closer to 1.5, maybe higher. 45.8% from the field is pretty average, but not bad for a point guard. And a free throw percentage of 79.4, creeping on 80%. I like to see my guard shoot 80% or higher. So that's close enough to not be concerned. Huge upside for him. Right now, again, his ADP is in the top 80. I think he has top 50 potential with the opportunity ahead of him. Alex Sarr, second-year player with the Washington Wizards, power forward center eligible player, has a diamond tier ADP right now of 77.3. Over the last 7 days, that has dropped some. He is at 84.5. Which means some sleeper potential for your team. I'll be targeting him heavily because he has unicorn potential. He did make the all-rookie first team. He's 100% drafted, played 67 games, played 27 minutes per game, and in those 27 minutes per game, got you 13 points, 6.5 rebounds, 2.4 assists, 0.7 steals, 1.5 blocks, 1.7 turnovers, 1.6 3-pointers made. That 1.5 blocks and 1.6 3-pointers made is what gives him that unicorn upside. Favorable playoff schedule for championship runs. The Wizards have a very strong fantasy basketball playoff schedules in a few settings. So having him, if he's healthy and he's playing and he's getting you points, he's getting you blocks, he's getting you three-pointers made, he's giving you some Jaren Jackson Jr. like production, some Miles Turner like production, except you can get him way later. And if you can pair him with a couple of those guys, you're going to be cooking with gas, my boy. Now, it's not all rainbows and sunshine. 39.4% from the field, 67.9% from the free throw line. You know, I like to protect my percentages, so I don't love seeing that. But he was a rookie, and we should see him hopefully improve in those areas as a second-year player with a season of NBA experience in his bag now. I think hopefully we see those numbers closer to averages of like 45% from the field, especially if he continues to get me three-pointers. Ausar Thompson, of the Detroit small forward, power forward, has a diamond tier ADP of 83.6 over the last 7 days. That has crept up into the top 75. Why I think he'll break out? He has elite defensive stats and very strong rebounding, especially if he gets the minutes. Now, the issue is his minutes are limited often because of his lack of range and his lack of shooting, which can hurt his team. But his defensive potential is about as high as it gets. He has a high floor, very high ceiling. His floor would be higher if he could, again, improve his range. Once he figures out his shooting issues, I think he has star potential. I think he has Giannis Antetokounmpo-like potential, again, if he can fix that inconsistency on the offensive side of the ball. Last season, he got you 10.1 points, 5.1 rebounds, 2.3 assists, 1.7 steals, 0.7 blocks, 1.4 turnovers per game, only 0.2 three-pointers made. Again, that lack of range hurts him. The field goal percentage, 53.5. But again, that's because he shoots by the basket. Free throw percentage of 64.1, not something I am a huge fan of. So he played 22.5 minutes per game to get you 1.7 steals per game on only 22.3 minutes per game. Really shows what his defensive upside is. If he's playing 36 minutes per game, now he's getting you over 2 steals and he's getting you over a block per game. That I find incredibly valuable. Those rebounds then creep up to 8 to 9, and maybe you're getting 12 to 13 points. So the upside is massive, and that's why he is creeping up in those diamond tier league. Donovan Clingan of the Portland Trail Blazers, center, diamond tier ADP of 83. That has gone up a little bit over the last 7 days to 81.1. Last season, played 67 games, only played 19.8 minutes per game, is 100% drafted right now. So as far as his production last season, he got you 6.5 points per game, 7.9 rebounds, 1.1 assists, 0.5 steals per game, 1.6 blocks, and only 19 minutes per game. That is juicy, juicy, juicy. Turnovers, 1.1 per game, 0.2 three-pointers made, which is better than 0 for a big man that's getting you that many blocks. Is that something he will improve on? Kind of like we saw with Brook Lopez. Maybe not to the same degree as Brook Lopez, but Brook Lopez used to be a guy that didn't get you any threes and then became a pretty good three-point shooter who then all of a sudden also got you a lot of blocks. So again, I don't hate that 0.2 three-pointers made in 19 minutes per game. Hopefully he improves, and that's an area he can help you, and then he becomes a top player easily. 1.6 blocks per game as a rookie in limited minutes really shows his defensive potential. And DeAndre Ayton was traded. Well, he wasn't traded. He was waived, and then the Lakers picked him up. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure one of you will. Leave it in the comments. But that trade opens up a lot of minutes for Donovan. And the Blazers are really focusing on their youth right now. I don't think they're trying to be competitive. They have a very young team, so they're going to prioritize development of players like Donovan. Very high upside. Again, you could get this guy in the top 80 for a guy that if he gets 30 minutes per game, might be getting you 2+ blocks per game. You know how I value those blocks, so you'll see him on a few of my teams. Toumani Camara, small forward, power forward for the Portland Trail Blazers, same team we just discussed. Diamond tier ADP of 100.2. That has dropped just slightly to 101.5 over the last 7 days. So this is a guy that got some defensive player of the year votes, played 78 games, got you almost 33 minutes per game. He is 99% drafted so far this season. Last season, he got you 11.3 points per game, 5.8 rebounds per game, 2.2 assists, 1.5 steals, 0.6 blocks, 1.4 turnovers, 1.7 threes, shot 45% from the field, 72% from the free throw line. The free throw percentage is lower than I wanted, and the production is fairly boring. But again, on a team that is focused on a youth movement, we might see further development from him. The 1.5 steals per game is nice, but he is playing essentially starter minutes. So I don't know how much higher we'll see that go up. You can grab him around pick 100. I think he has enough upside where if you pick him, he's kind of a boring but somewhat safe pick around this area. And is some upside for him. He might become a better scorer. He might become a better rebounder, and he might get closer to 2 steals per game, especially if his minutes go up some. Again, not a super exciting, flashy pick, I don't think, but there is some upside breakout potential there. Santi Aldama, power forward center for the Memphis Grizzlies, has a diamond tier ADP of 109.6, but over the last 7 days, that has gone up to 101.7. Last season, played 65 games, played 25.5 minutes per game, is 100% drafted right now. Last season got you 12.5 points, 6.4 rebounds, almost 3 assists per game, 0.8 steals, 0.4 blocks. Pretty low for a big man, but he doesn't get a lot of turnovers, only 1.1, and got you almost 2 3-pointers per game. Shot 48.3% from the field, 2 3-pointers per game, 48.3% from the field. I love that. I value that. I cherish that. And I think diamond tier league players do as well, which is why you're seeing that ADP starting to creep up. A depleted Memphis front court creates opportunity for him. And again, that elite efficiency with those 2 threes per game from a big, incredibly valuable. Has a versatile skill set that's perfect for the modern NBA. So that combination of factors really bodes well for his ability to beat his at-draft position. The one caveat with him, again, doesn't get you blocks from a big, and he hurts your free throw percentage, only shot 69%. Typically, if you're going to hurt my free throw percentage, I want you to get me blocks. In this situation, he is not. But again, that 48% from the field, 1.9 3-pointers made, and the volume of free throws he takes is low enough that I can still cancel it out with some other efficient bigs if I'm trying to get 3-pointers and a high field goal percentage. Maybe pair him with a Jokic, where now I'm getting threes and still keeping my field goal percentage high, and maybe I'm just punching blocks altogether. Jabari Smith Jr. has some upside to help your team. Now, he has been very inconsistent throughout his career. So let's go over his production last season. Last season, he played 57 games, 30.1 minutes per game. He is 99% drafted right now. His diamond tier ADP is 123.1 over the last 7 days. That has dropped to 127.1. So he is losing some favor, but there's still some breakout potential here. He's shown all-star flashes. The problem is he hasn't done it consistently. The Rockets are desperate for floor spacing beyond just Kevin Durant, and they lost one of their floor spacers in Fred VanVleet. So someone like Jabari Smith Jr. might be on the floor just because he can stretch the floor. He does have some two-way defensive and offensive potential. He just needs to put everything together. He has shown that he could be a decent rebounder. He has shown he could be a decent scorer, getting you close to 2 3-pointers made per game, 0.7 blocks per game. If he can get you 1 or higher, which I think he has the potential to do, I would like that a lot more. Now, the 1.1 assists to 1.1 turnovers, don't love that. Really low field goal percentage for a big. Free throw percentage is nice for a big, so that I do like. There's the shooting potential. There's his ability to stretch the floor, which I think can help him out, especially playing with someone like Alperen Sengun, who is not quite the shooter that he is. You have Amon Thompson, who as well is not quite the shooter that he is, and I think that can open up minutes for him, especially if he's playing with someone like Clint Capella, who is now back on the Rockets. He can really stretch the floor and get some minutes. Will we see him be more consistent? Will we see him taking full advantage of the minutes he's getting? I'm hopeful that this is the season we finally get that breakout we've been anticipating for a couple of years now. Matas Buzelis is another player with huge upside. Diamond tier ADP of 91.3. Last 7 days, that has gone up to 85.5. So he is creeping up there. People are starting to reach for him. Last season, and this is, keep in mind, he did not play a lot of minutes the majority of the season. You can see here, he only got you 8.6 points per game, 3.5 rebounds per game, got you an assist per game. But in those limited minutes, he got you 0.8 steals, 0.9 blocks per game, only 0.8 turnovers per game, got you 0.8 3-pointers made, 45.4% from the field, 76% from the free throw line. So his percentages are average. But if he gets starter minutes on a Bulls team that is starting to focus on youth development, they got rid of DeMar DeRozan. They got rid of Zach LaVine. They're really focused right now on their younger core, and Matas Buzelis is part of that younger core. That 0.9 blocks per game could easily become 0.4, 1.5 blocks per game. That three-pointer made could go over 1 three-pointer made. And if he can continue to shoot efficiently, relatively speaking, for a guy that can get you threes and blocks, then he is a perfect glue player. He is the sort of wingman I like to draft that really smooths out the edges for my builds, especially when I pair them with these guards that can get me blocks and these bigs that can get me threes. So he's going to be on a lot of championship teams, is what I'm predicting, if he can continue to remain healthy. Now, this is going to be, I think, an exciting pickup. Kevin Porter Jr., we just found out that he is going to be the starting point guard for the Milwaukee Bucks, playing with someone like Giannis. He gets a fresh start. He had some legal issues. This was a guy in the past that we believed in his upside and we drafted for his upside. He even got some comparisons to people like James Harden. He had that sort of potential, high usage player, not super efficient, can turn over the ball a lot, but he can heat up, get you a bunch of points, get you a bunch of assists. Now he gets to be a starter on a pretty decent team, and he has some nice pieces to play with. Miles Turner is going to stretch the floor. Giannis Antetokounmpo is a wrecking ball, and now he has the opportunity to orchestrate all of that, and he's pretty dynamic in his own right. So in the limited minutes he got you last season, got you 10.3 points, 3.7 rebounds, 3.4 assists, 1 steal, 0.3 blocks, 1.8 turnovers, which isn't terrible. 1.2 three-pointers made, 42% from the field. Not a fan of that. 81% from the free throw line. Big fan of that. And again, if he gets 30 minutes per game, playing with Giannis, playing with Bobby Portis, playing with Giannis Antetokounmpo, Miles Turner, playing with this strong core on the Milwaukee Bucks, we could easily see those points per game go up to 14 to 15 points per game. There's a lot of touches being left on the table now that Damian Lillard is no longer on the Bucks. We could see those assists go up to 6 to 7 assists per game. We might see those steals creep up closer to 1.5 per game. We might see those three-pointers creep up. If he can continue giving me a high free throw percentage, I can forgive the lower field goal percentage. I think field goal percentage and turnovers will be issues for him, but overall his upside is so big that I think an ADP of 118.5 makes him a huge sleeper, makes him a huge breakout candidate. Everything is situated right now for him to have a breakout season. Reed Sheppard is another player positioned to have a breakout season. Diamond tier ADP of 120.4. Last 7 days, it's at 122.1. The big development that has opened up his breakout potential is the injury to Fred VanVleet, who tore his ACL and will likely miss the majority of the season. So he only played 12.6 minutes per game last season. He is 74% drafted, so he's being heavily targeted right now. That Fred VanVleet injury is going to unlock a lot of minutes for him. He showed some elite potential in the limited run that he did get. I think he's a league-winning sleeper at his current ADP, considering he's very likely to have starter minutes. He only got you 4.4 points, 1.5 rebounds, 1.4 assists, 0.5 steals, 0.1 blocks, 0.7 turnovers, 0.6 threes. But again, he did all of this in only 12.6 minutes per game. If you times that by 3, now you're looking at per 36 stats. And all of a sudden, these stats are not that bad given the upside that he has shown. Zaccharie Risacher of the Atlanta Hawks was their first-round pick last season, was all-rookie first team, played 75 games, played 24.6 minutes per game. Right now, he has a diamond tier ADP of 135.4. Over the last 7 days, that's at 136. So a guy you can target pretty late in your drafts. Why I think he'll break out? Sophomore leap is almost guaranteed. He was already getting 25 minutes per game. Will we see that closer to 30 minutes per game? I think so. Kristaps Porzingis and some of the new pieces on that team, I think, are going to really elevate his game. And again, you have the number 1 pick pedigree, ready to shine, ready to break out. Second year seems like a good year for us to see that breakout. Last season in 24.6 minutes per game, got you 12.6 points, 3.6 rebounds, 1.2 assists. Considering he got you 1.3 turnovers, that is a negative assist to turnover ratio, which does hurt him, in my opinion. Hopefully we can see some improvement there. 0.7 steals, 0.5 blocks in only 24 minutes per game is not awful. That means he can get you closer to 1 per game if he got closer to starter minutes. 1.6 three-pointers made, 45.8% from the field. Considering it was his rookie season, 45.8 bodes well for his future efficiency. 71.1% from the free throw line, much lower than I want from one of my wing players. But his upside, his role is likely to increase, and the Atlanta Hawks are likely to value his development. All of those things combined, I think, make him a strong breakout candidate for your fantasy basketball team. Cason Wallace, point guard, shooting guard for the Oklahoma City Thunder, has a diamond tier ADP of 129 over the last 7 days. That has gone up to 126.1. The boy has some championship swagger, played 68 games, played 27.6 minutes per game, is 76% drafted so far this season. So why are we targeting Cason Wallace? Well, last season got you 8.4 points per game, 3.4 rebounds per game, 2.5 assists per game, 1.8 steals per game, and only 27.6 minutes. That is elite territory. Got you half a block per game from the guard position. I will take that. Turnovers per game, only 0.9. Love that as well. Got you over a 3 per game. And he did that on nice percentages, 47% from the field, 81.1% from the free throw line. He is helping me in some crucial categories that I value. And there is some upside there for his production on offense and on defense. That combination of factors makes him a very, very tempting target late in your drafts. Has elite defensive upside. He has now won an NBA championship, which I think for a young player does a whole lot for their confidence. It accelerates that growth. So a young defender on a title contender, I think he's going to play his way into significant minutes. And even then, some of the people ahead of him in the rotation, like Alex Caruso, pretty injury prone. And then you also have a situation where if it's the end of the season and the Thunder are sitting on a top seed, they might start sitting guys like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They might start sitting guys like Jalen Williams. And you might see in that scenario, someone like Cason step up, get starter minutes during the fantasy basketball playoffs. And now you have a guy that's helping you secure steals without hurting your percentages or your turnovers. That is very valuable to me. And the last player on my list for today is Isaiah Jackson of the Indiana Pacers. Diamond tier ADP right now of 137.8. Last 7 days, 136.4. Why I think he has breakout potential, the Miles Turner trade unlocks a starting role for him. Will he get those starter minutes? It remains to be seen. I think preseason will really give us some clarity. They also have Jay Huff, who might also compete for that starting role. But when he's playing and getting minutes, he has the potential to get you 2+ blocks per game. So that elite shot blocking potential on a team that finally got rid of their starting point guard, can he play his way into starter minutes? If he does, that 1.6 blocks per game that he would get you in 16 minutes per game, all of a sudden you might be looking at a 3 blocks per game sort of guy. He is a punt free throw build, very real typical punt free throw build sort of player. He's not going to get you threes. He's not going to get you a high free throw percentage. He's going to hurt your free throw percentage, but he can get you a ton of blocks. He can get you rebounds in limited minutes, and he can get you a really high field goal percentage. So if you do have a punt free throw build and you need or fifth big to really shore up your big man rotation late in the draft, I think Isaiah Jackson makes a whole lot of sense to gamble on. All right. Well, that was incredibly fun. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, again, do me a favor, smash that like button, subscribe to Barack Lesnar Hoops if you have not yet, and consider buying my draft guide. There is a link down there in the description, or you can see it right here. It's full of information that can really help you during your draft. I built it in a way where you can go read it through, bring it with you during your draft, and know which players you want to target, where you have to target them, and why. Now, there have been a lot of changes with the ad draft positions in the guide because I made it last month. So some of these players are actually going higher now. And I like to think that the guide helped because some of those sleepers are no longer as strong of sleepers because people know what their upside and potential is. So if anything, take that as proof that the guide is incredibly helpful in helping you anticipate which players are going to go higher than they're actually going. You can find it in the link in the description. It's going to help you. It has the fantasy basketball playoff schedules broken down so that you know which players you can stack up and overwhelm your opponents during the fantasy basketball playoffs. You have the ADP, you know where these guys are going, and you have a breakdown of my strategy all right there in one place for you, again, to help you dominate your competition. Until next time, this is Barack Lesnar of Barack Lesnar Hoops. Take care.